let's get started with the show. Greetings and welcome back to another episode of 5 Play Friday, the show where we look at video plays to get better. We focus on National Federation of High School basketball rules, and we're looking for qualities displayed on the video. The officials in the right position, were they working their system properly, and did they adjudicate plays properly? Greetings again, everybody. My name is Greg Austin with abetterofficial.com. We create video to help basketball officials get better and take control of their officiating career. Now would be a great time to hit like, subscribe, and notify, and also share the video content with other basketball officials who could find value as well. As always, have to give a shout out to our fantastic show supporters. Jay Severson, Scott Calvin, Chris Hirano, Paul Clay, and Mike Wong. Much appreciated and much love. If you want to support the show, you can always buy us a coffee, and there will be a link in the show notes. All right, today we're looking at a mixed bag of plays. Looking to get better, let's take a look at our very first play. So this is just a great example of why video analysis is so powerful. It's a simple play, a common play. These kind of plays occur all the time, but are we doing all of the things? Are the right officials officiating the play? Do they have an open look on the play? Are they focusing on the right things? Are they displaying habits and fundamentals that will allow them to be successful in adjudicating plays? So we have a two-person game. Let's go here. Two-person game, drive to the basket, rebounding action, ball's kicked out to the wing, and a three-point shooter. Well, get out the way, ref. Three-point shooter up top releases a try, and we have a foul while the ball is in flight, right? Pretty straightforward. One of the things in working with younger officials, as lead, they watch the ball. A try is released, and then you see their head, you see the neck exposed, and they're watching the basketball. The game is so much simpler to officiate if we just officiate the players that we're supposed to officiate. If I said to somebody who is not a basketball fan, well, watch this play, they're probably watching the flight, or not a basketball official, they're probably watching the flight of the ball and they may miss the foul. We certainly don't expect the trail official to see the foul, but the lead official, this is the easiest call you can make. It's really straightforward, right? If we are in the right position and we are looking at the right things, officiating basketball is really pretty straightforward. We are excellent at our play call quality when we are looking at the right things and have an open look on plays. So, obvious foul displacement by the player from behind, grabs the shoulders, throws the player to the ground. Easy call. The complexity may rise. Okay, this occurs while a try is in flight. What does that mean for our play? Try is in flight, and while the try is in flight, a foul occurs. Does the ball become dead? No, the ball does not become dead. A try in flight goes in the basket. Defensive foul, we will score the goal, and then we will enforce the foul. If we were in the bonus, the offended player would shoot free throws. If we are not in the bonus, throw into the offended team at the spot nearest the foul. And then report the foul, and then we're going to administer the foul, and we need to know what that administration is, either bonus. The officials will switch here. The old trail will become new lead for the resulting throw-in, etc. Right? Really straightforward. Not a complicated play, but it brings up some fun things along the way as well. So let's watch our trail here. Rebounding action. Ball's thrown out. Right? We've all been in this situation. We were focused on something else. We did not recognize that player moving into a position to receive the pass. We are in Schitzville. It's a local community here in the San Francisco Bay Area. You've heard of Schitt's Creek, the very popular TV show. We have a local community called Schitzville, and I am now the mayor of that community when this ball is caught. As trail official, we didn't anticipate the play. We do not have an open look. The player's feet are pretty well behind the line. This isn't a situation. Sometimes that player is right up close to the line and we have no look on the play. So all you can do is make an attempt to get a look. You have to make a decision, right? The player fakes one way, goes the next, and our ability to view is lost, but we have to fight for that open look. And if you are an official who is clearly trained to pursue an open look, you will always have these behaviors, right? Once that stacked look appears in front of you, instinctively you move to get an open look. And that is what we want. We want that instinctive move when we have a stacked look, but we also want the anticipatory move in advance while the ball is in flight, moving to get the open look. Did not have it on this play. It's something we want in our game. When we have a shooter, what are we doing? We have to see the feet well behind the line. We could probably see that peripherally. It wasn't a situation where, again, the foot was super close to the line and we had to have a more focus on it. We have a shooter, airborne shooter, attempting a try. Once they elevate, we have to shift our focus to the shooter and their arm. Okay? If we focus quickly on their arm, we will see any illegal contact on the arm. Any elbow, forearm, wrist, etc. So we have to have that focus and awareness. He's going to put that away. He's going to play. And then after, we have to see, is there any contact on the body? So what does our focus shift to? Is now going to be body. Did this offensive player extend a leg? Trying to fool the ref, draw a foul? Is there any hip contact by the player going by, etc.? And, so what we like to say is we have to officiate the player up, down, and a little bit more, right? Oftentimes, this player runs past, but oftentimes somebody's running at our shooter. The try is released. They're like this, but this player is moving closer. And something will happen afterward. They may run into them after the fact. So we have to stay with our shooters up, down, and a little bit more. So the other thing that we need to focus on is the landing, right? Whether there's contact in the air, but is the player allowed to land safely, right? So up, down, and a little bit more. Just simple basics, but something we have to do with shooters each and every time. One of the things you can quickly review in your game video when you analyze it, did I stay with shooters? Up, down, and a little bit more, right? So you're in a two-person game like this. your partner's on an island, they're officiating 10 players for the rebounding action, right? I like to say we have to have an agreement as a crew going in. I'm going to stay with shooters. That's the most important thing at that moment, right? Understand that. Maybe expand your rebounding coverage as needed because I'm going to stay up, down, and a little bit more. Expand your coverage. I'll be back to officiate the rebounding action, but you've got it all for a brief moment. So something that I like to teach officials is, and you can have an opinion about this or not, is a way to reinforce staying with a shooter up, down, and beyond is you have a three-point shooter here, don't mark until they land. Because that forces you to focus on the player up, down, and after they land, then mark. It's a way to slow you down and force officials to focus on the complete up, down, and beyond. It's a situation where we're officiating, we have a big view. Players moves into position. And again, if we're truly officiating the players in our primary, we perceive the player move into the shooting position. There's clues given, and we can position adjust so we have an open look. On the first part of this play, that did not happen. On the second part of the play, when the ball is caught by the shooter, the official has perceived them being in that position and a likely recipient of the pass. So we have a big picture view, and then, right, if we focus small on that for a point of contact, and then back out, body, landing, big picture, rebounding, right? That's our sequence. And if we execute that consistently, we will get shooting fouls, and we will understand that super critical real estate of up, down, and beyond. So again, what do we have? We have a very simple play, but we can analyze our game video and see all the things, that all the habits that are on display, how we can improve, etc. Let's move on to our very next play scenario. All right, screening play ruled an illegal screen by the trail. Some designated spot shenanigans. A possible switch where the officials don't switch. Let's take a look at the play. Again, two-person game. Open look on the play. Shoulders somewhat open. We want to have a 45-degree angle here. What we don't want to have is a 90-degree angle or 180-degree angle to the sideline. We don't want to turn our body so we shut off information. 45-degree angle allows us to move our head and see plays. We can look, over our shoulder, or in this instance, I can't. It's all reversed. But we have an open look on the play. We see the screening action coming. If we have a wider view, we can anticipate plays better. We see the screener. And they establish a legal screening position, right? Legal by rule. The screener waits for it and goes. And then our screener moves into the path of the defender who's moving under the screen. There's hip contact here, which causes that player to lose their rhythm, speed, balance, and quickness. They are affected by the contact. If that player was able to slip by, right, the actions were potentially illegal by the screener, But without contact, it would not be an illegal screen. But if we have illegal screen, or we have contact, illegal screen is the ruling. Team control, new mechanic would make this the player control signal, as we are, I guess, eliminating in National Federation of High School the punch, right? Really straightforward demeanor. Designate a spot, and then we sort of, for convenience, say, actually, let's go here, right? A foul occurred in the middle of the floor, sort of have that freedom. Report, not in the reporting area. Open look at the table. We could move into the reporting area, but we need to know what's going to happen next, right? If we are going to switch all fouls, National Federation of High School, switch all fouls, the calling official would be the official who administers the resulting throw-in. But is that the most important thing? Yes, no, maybe so. Who knows about mechanics? The two officials know about mechanics. Does anybody else in the building know about mechanics? Not necessarily, right? So we can just always flow to keep the game moving, etc. So a pretty straightforward play, but one that allows us to look at habits, right? Calling official makes the call and starts moving away, right? So clearly did not have in his mind that I know what's going to happen next. I'm going to administer a throw in here, right? We need, when we make a call, we need to know what's going to happen next. So we sort of made it up on the fly, end up looking a little unsure. Again, we know that we are unsure. We know what's going on in terms of mechanics. The stakeholders in the game, not so much. We're not gonna make a big deal about it. No. It's my throw-in. I'm going to take it. Now you go down there. I saw a lot of that in a recent camp I attended with younger officials, newer officials. A lot of finger pointing to their partners, right? Instead of, a more polished, excellent. Let's adapt. Let's move. Let's flow, etc. That smoothness is important. That's something that the stakeholders in the game can perceive, is comfort with the officials in how they move, etc. Oh, Danny's in the house. You can pick and roll, but you cannot roll and pick. That's an excellent summation of rolling into a defender to create legal contact. Now, if we go back on this play, let me ask you this. If we go back, what if there's a switch here? What if this defender, wait a minute, what if this defender jumps up and there is a switch that occurs on this play? Do you have anything different? We would then have the contact, but we would have a switch by the defenders. And no longer is the primary defender being prevented from defending their play. Those plays are a little more subtle, and one where we can say that the contact therefore becomes incidental if that switch occurred. So our second play, another simple play. Simple, but what can we take from it? We could spend time talking about the rule of screening. We could take time about the official's positioning. We could take time focusing on using the reporting area properly. We could take time focusing on switching and how to execute properly, what should be done, what should not be done. And then we can also talk about, in the absence of doing it, how it should be done. How can we smoothly roll into the next play? How best to handle that situation? That's why we analyze game video. The simple stuff jumps off. We can work on that. We can just identify. That's the first step, right? If you're an official, you're breaking down your game video. The first step is to identify these things. I did that thing. I did not know we were supposed to switch. I did not do a better job of getting at least closer to the reporting area, etc. Identifying those first. Once you have them identified, then you can start to put together a strategy for how I'm going to analyze my game, how I'm going to approach my next game. I can't fix all of the things, but I do want to, or this game, reporting area. Every time. I'm going to stick my left foot into the reporting area, right? Sometimes having that specific goal, like I often, officials who work too high as trail, I will tell them, put your outside foot on the 28-foot mark that is on the court. Oh, okay. And then instead of just officiating and thinking they're in the right position, they have a landing spot that they can at least be aware of and do something, a specific action. So you can go into your next game and say, I'm going to put at least my left foot into the reporting area, like I'm sticking my toe in some water, right? That's going to be my strategy for the next game, and some other things will take care of itself as a result of that. Okay, so Mike's going to draw the line, and he's going to say, we're going to primary versus secondary makes no difference. This is something that you want to pregame, right? How we're going to handle situations like this. Maybe this is more of an advanced pregame. Let's say you have intel that both of the teams set a lot of screens, and how we're going to officiate screening action tonight. Let's talk about this play scenario where the defenders switch and one player jumps, and then how we're going to officiate that roll action, right? So it'd be a great topic for a pregame discussion. Gets you into screening in general, right? So one of the ways we can enhance our pre-games is if we have intel, like a local team, they run a lot of screening action off ball. We know that. Okay, that's going to make our job as officiating that game on this night. We need to have consistency. We need to, first of all, see that screening off ball, which in two-person is difficult, right? If it's occurring at multiple spots on the court. And also, we need to officiate it consistently at this end of the floor, at this end of the floor, by official A and official B. Okay, so it's great to have a pregame topic that is brought on by some attribute of the team. Okay, let's talk about that. And it'll lead to other discussions as well. Let's take a look at our next play. So let's first identify that this is a unique configuration due to health and safety protocols. The table is on the side of the court where the camera is. The benches have been moved across the gym in an isolated fashion, so that they are away from some fans who are at the game, obviously, for health and safety protocols. So our calling official here, the one who makes the ruling, is the official opposite the table in this unique configuration. Last second situation, inbound, try, misses, rebound, put back, ball goes in, but the official waves it off. We can see lights are on, ball's in the hand. Lights on, ball's in hand. Call correct. Let's look at the behavior of the calling official on this play. Emphatic, right? It has some fantastic habits for this situation. Does not watch the ball. Is not focused on the basket. Is focused away because the ruling is no shot. No shot. Emphatic. Unquestioned, right? That's what we need in this situation. We need certainty. We can't waffle. We can't be uncertain. We have to be emphatic, right? We often talk about, NFHS says officials should not use signals that are intending to bring attention to themselves. In this situation, that's out the window. We are bringing attention to ourselves. We are making a game-deciding ruling, and that ruling is no shot, right? We are emphatic, right? Now, unlike the NBA, we don't have the ability to go back and look at game video and ensure that it was in the hand, not in the hand. We have to make a ruling with the officiating crew on the court. Love it. Love the behavior. Goes away from towards the division line in a sort of a neutral part of the court, emphatic, etc. Possibly made one too many gestures, almost caught one of the players in the face. But a correct ruling, great habits, high certainty, no doubt. Now let's go back and look at our non-calling official. One of the things, especially in a contested environment like this, I think that it's better if our crew is connected, right? So our non-calling official, who should definitely have an opinion on this play, and if we did not have a signal from the calling official, we want our other officials to have an opinion. And if that official who had an open look on everything, the game was right there. The entire game was that attempted try. If that if the trail official in this instance had a look that the ball was in the player's hand, they need to step up and put the game ahead of the crew. But that did not happen. Okay, our calling official, so they're sort of swarmed by players, etc. And our trail official looks like he's joining the lead official, and they're going to wait for their partner. I think possibly some better behavior would be a lot of head nodding, great call, partner, right? To show that cohesiveness as a crew. And I would also move towards my partner because I want to join them. And then we are going to put a bow on it and exit the game as a crew. That's what I'd want to see in this scenario. I don't want to leave the calling official out to dry. I don't want him to have an interaction with a coach, the coach who on the losing side who has something to say. It doesn't look like that's the case here in this environment, but we don't want to leave somebody behind, and we want to exit as a crew. And if we do that, right, our crew has come together, finished the game, done all the things, and made that exit together. And again, lots of head nodding, etc. So I think that would be a great takeaway from this play if you have something similar in your game. And hopefully you do have something similar in your game. Those last second shot scenarios are fantastic. And if we get the play right, then it's really, makes us feel good as officials. Again, simple play scenario, call correct. What can we take from it? Great habits by the calling official, the ruling official, who says no shot, and it's emphatic, strong. The game appreciates that. Even if you're the coach who missed out, I appreciate the heck that you were not waffling. I'm not sure. What do you have, partner, or anything like that. The game wants strong officials with confidence and conviction. Approachable, but confident, etc. So great habits displayed by the calling official. There's some things I think we could have done as a crew to support our official and put a bow on the game and get out of there and go enjoy a post-game beverage. Let's move on to our very next play scenario. It's a fun one. All right, this play has all the things. There's a lot going on in this play. Okay, so let's set some ground rules. Super shallow end line at this gym. Small gym in Richmond, California. Small gym, not a lot of room on the end line. It is what it is. These two players, Player A and player B, twins. Twins. Makes it fun. They ran this situation passing the ball out of bounds prior to a throw-in after a made basket. They did it like 3 times in the game. Usually you only see this end of game scenario after a timeout, running a play, etc. These guys, it's just part of their game. So what do we have? Let's start from the beginning. Alley-oop, dunk. Scored goal. One player grabs the ball. All right. Player jumps. Okay, so let's just go through the basics. I see. Give me a sec. Let's go through the basics on the throw-in. After a made basket, player A1 has the ball and is holding the ball out of bounds and passes the ball to A2, who is standing out of bounds. Is this a legal play? Yes, it is, after a made basket, right? As the administering official, something funny has happened, something unexpected. We had begin our count and we maintain our count, right? This is an excellent habit. Something funny has happened in our game. Like if we're in the backcourt, a 10-second situation where the administering official, we have a backcourt count going, the ball is deflected, you'll see like a significant percentage of officials stop their count. And then the team in control regains control of the ball, and then they have to start a second count, or they never resume a second count, etc. Something funny happens, just keep your metronome going. You can always make a ruling. You can always make that go long. So that's a great habit on display. The throw-in, it's the pass amongst teammates is a legal play by rule. Throw-in pass. Let's say this player had a foot in the backcourt. They had their backcourt status and caught the ball and landed in the front court. Legal play, right? A defensive player can make that move legally. We have a deflected ball, and we have displacement by the white player. There's a loose ball scenario, right? But we have to make a judgment. I believe the score in this game was not close. But we have to make a judgment about whether that contact is illegal or not. The calling official says that's illegal contact. Great. Okay, let's say we're in the bonus. What happens next? Right? What kind of foul is it? It would be a team control foul by rule. Again, status. Which team is in control for the purpose of fouls administration? Red is in control. Release a throw-in pass. Who is in control? White has team control. Does at any point red gain team control on this play? No. No, they do not. There's no change in team control. This would be a team control foul by rule. If this occurred in the first minute of the game or when the team was in bonus, we need to identify these fouls for what they are. That is a team control foul. If we identify them each and every time for what they are, then when it is bonus and everybody anticipates free throws, then we know and we can stem the tide and say, no, team control foul by rule on this play. So pretty straightforward play. Again, it's quirky, something funny, that's unusual. Keep that metronome going. Understand status, backcourt rules, the legality of that play. Understand what kind of foul you have put into the game and what happens next. In a similar situation, you could say, let's say the displacement was less dramatic. In this instance, the player was knocked to the floor. Their ability to play basketball was obviously impaired. But if we see what happens on the play, red does gain the ball and has an opportunity to go the other way. So if the contact itself was less displacement occurred, it was just a body bump, maybe it knocked the player a bit. Now we're going to get into Mike Connors saying illegal, legal, be pure in your judgment. But if that was the case on this play, because we do have two players sort of in equally favorable position pursuing a ball that has become loose, right? Let's take a look. They are both in equally favorable positions pursuing the ball. Red potentially has a fast break situation, but calling official in this instance says that displacement is so egregious that we must put a whistle on the play. It's true. You see it all the time in game video. It's a confusing environment, right? This team had control, then this team had control, and now the ball's loose, etc. We just need to slow down and process. And if in the processing, it's the first period, the game has just started and this play occurs, and we know we're nowhere close to bonus, identify the foul. Identify the foul. Get the reps identifying team control fouls. And if you are the non-calling official, right, you can help a partner identify, just take a moment, put it in the game. I have a team control foul on that one, partner. Team control? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, good one, right? If it's appropriate in the environment that you're in, that can help another official along in terms of that process. Fantastic. Okay, let's move on to our very next play scenario. Okay, simple and straightforward. This play is left over from backcourt week. Obvious backcourt violation. Obvious. Two-person mechanics here. Everything's done correctly, but we often look at the troublesome and intricate plays, but it's also good to just see an obvious call and the correct administration, see it for what it is, and not lose any focus on plays, right? We have a situation where, all right, so we'll go through our checklist. Do we have team control on the court? Yes. Yes, we do. The player jumps from the front court and catches the ball in the air. When they jump from the front court, their status is having front court status. When they catch the ball's status has become front court status because it is contacted by a player with front court status. And then when they land in the backcourt, a violation has been committed because we had team control on the court, last to touch in the front court, and first to touch in the backcourt. Backcourt violation by rule. Simple and straightforward. But we see plays like this and we sometimes, well, wait a minute, I know there's something where a player could jump from the front court, catch the ball in the air, land in the backcourt, and it's legal, right? That's the throw-in exception, of course. Simple and straightforward. Throw-in exception allows this same play to occur, but this was not a throw-in. This was a violation by rule. Okay, so what do we have? We have this is like probably one of the most obvious of backcourt plays. Always good to see the obvious to reinforce our understanding of the rule. Straightforward. And if we see plays like this and there's any sort of question that arises, it's good to tamp those down and nail them. All right, let's move on to our next play. Okay, another super simple backcourt play, but one that can, if we react to it and don't process it, we can make a mistake. We have a throw-in play. Ball contacts player A2 on the court. The ball ends up bouncing in the backcourt. Player grabs the ball and moves into the front court. Right? Simple, straightforward. But let's break down statuses. The ball has become live on the throw-in when the player catches the ball. Player releases a throw-in pass to a teammate with front court status. Teammate attempts to catch the ball but fails to do so. While the ball's in midair, the player reaches out and bats at the ball. The ball bounces in the backcourt. They catch it in the front court. We look at our backcourt formula. Team control on the court. We know we have team control during a throw-in, but only for the administration of fouls. In order to have a backcourt violation, we need team control on the court. When does this player gain team control? That's the key question on this play. When they dribble the ball in the front court is when they gain control. Muff, bat, not a dribble. That's your judgment, but that's not a dribble by rule. When a player, in order for a player to dribble the basketball, they have to be in control of the basketball. Was that player, when they made that bat of the ball, in control of the ball? Did it establish control? That's what we get paid the big bucks to determine. And a pretty straightforward play, right? Call correct or no call was correct. There was no violation on this play, but obviously something funny happened. And if we react as officials and we don't take time to process, then we can get these plays wrong. But if we look at the easy backcourt calls and reinforce our understanding of the rules, right? I mean, to me, the thing about backcourt calls is we can't necessarily look at them like a Rorschach test, where it's just like, I saw the play and I know the ruling. Because there's processing that has to be done. We're taking information that has occurred prior to the actual moment where a backcourt violation may occur, and we have to process it. So we need to understand what it is we're processing: team control, last to touch, first to touch, etc., and and the status of the player involved. So if we look at easy plays, that could just reinforce, I understand the things that are going on this really easy play and the things that are making it determined. Then when we get to a complex play or a difficult play, we are in the habit of looking at those processes along the way. So I think it's great to review super simple plays as a result. Hey, thanks for joining us today on 5 Play Friday. If you find content like this valuable as a basketball official, now would be a great time to do all the things. You can hit like, subscribe, notify, and share the video with other basketball officials who could find value as well. As always, have to thank our fantastic channel supporters: Jay Severson, Scott Calvin, Chris Hirano, Paul Clay, and Mike Wong. Much appreciated and much love. If you want to buy us a coffee, you can hit the link above or in the show notes below. We have additional video content for you here and here. Make your choice, choose wisely. We'll see you in the very next video. Take care.